Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KCCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody. You're listening to The Cindy Cochran Show, and I'm Cindy Cochran, and you're not. You should be so happy about that. Listen, we've got a great show today, and it's going to be a scary show. I love scariness. I love that. And my guest today, and I'm going to introduce her right off the bat because I have no secrets from her, so is Aaliyah Lamb. Good afternoon, Leah.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. That's all you're going to say today. Okay, great.
That's all I'm going to... Well, it is a wonderfully rainy day.
It is.
We needed this so bad. But and I love the gloomy days, so there you go.
But, you know, Sam has stopped going out in the yard and doing his dance for the rain. So it's just, I hate that. But, man, he was so happy. And everybody's talking about the rain. It's just hilarious. And in church the other Sunday, when Steve got up to preach, he goes, so I just wanted to let everybody know that God is good and we need to give him some praise because it's raining outside. And it burst into, yeah,
I know, everyone was so happy. And then it went away and we didn't have it. But now we have it. The lake, you know, I live out on the lake and it is so down and there's so much algae and we need rain. We need it all to fill back in.
The fishes are going, wait a minute, I got to go deeper now and deeper. And, and when you start seeing all the trees and the branches coming up, you know, like, oh, that looks ugly. So get that water going. So we're very blessed. We got some rain going on. And it must have rained this morning. I'm about after 7 o'clock. I have to drop the kids off, go home, and try and catch up on some sleep. And I came out, and it was just like I had puddles all over the yard and stuff. So it rained.
Well, okay. So you know, it could rain in the front yard and not the backyard.
True.
So where I was in Willis, it was pouring. So it was wonderful.
Well, the problem is I have a rain app and thunderstorm app on so long. And so when it rains outside, I never get the real stuff. It's always the fake stuff. And when I go into the stores and I'll go buy the vegetable thing and they start putting the rain out for the vegetables and I start getting sleepy. I said, they can't play this.
They can't do this. You can't go to sleep.
All right. My brain is totally trained. But Leah does go to the same church I go to, and I just didn't know the weirdness of Leah until just recently. I mean, I love it. I can relate so well. But Leah's got a lot of stuff going on, and
I do.
And we're gonna. If you haven't heard the Remnant Stew, let me tell you how I heard the show. I'm driving, and there's nothing on that I want to listen to, and so I'm going through the stations, and I go up across our station,
right,
106.1 and 104.5, and I'm hearing a voice. I'm not looking at the numbers. I'm just going like that, and I hear a voice and go, I know that voice. I know that voice. So I sit there and listen to it and listen to all the stories that you guys tell, just random weird stuff.
That's
that
right.
You don't know about and you need to know, and then you can file it away and never think about it.
So Robert Ripley is one of our inspirations.
Oh,
and
yes.
So, yeah. When I was a kid, I
love him.
I used to just eat up his books,
yes,
you know, and all of that trivia and all of that kind of things. And so that's what our podcast is about. However, I will say that we dropped 2 episodes yesterday, a 2-parter. That is a little bit different from what we normally have. Kerry Max Cook is a man that spent 20 years on death row for a crime he didn't commit.
I heard the first part of
and
that.
Yes, we got to interview him in the studio, and it's really kind of an odd thing because we don't. I mean, as far as wild and crazy stories, he definitely fits in there.
Yes,
but that's not indicative of our show. Our show is about trivia and fun and weird and wacky stories.
And this was like true dad,
Yeah,
and so
his was,
really,
and it wasn't family friendly necessarily. It's the only episodes that we've had, and we warned that at the very beginning. Not
Yes.
exactly family friendly, but it is one of our most popular shows. I mean,
I
already
bet.
we dropped it yesterday, and it's been downloaded record number of times.
Oh,
It's our
great.
most popular episode for the first day it's been in. So
well, Bob Smiley, and Elvis is one of his last girlfriends. Their programs are really fighting it out, the competition for views. So, and I think it's so funny because we had so many things about Elvis during August, and when I was talking to the mayor's office trying to get him on the show, I mentioned that we had August like Elvis month, and the girl that I was talking to goes, "What you did? Wait a minute, who did you interview?" And I said, "These were people that knew Elvis." Yeah, he came back just for this. It was exclusive.
Elvis is in the building.
That's right. And so I said, so we did a lot of those things. She was so excited about that. She said, "I'm going to have to listen to that." And I said, "Good, but don't tell the mayor. Probably those probably wouldn't be as. He's probably thinking it's going to be some kind of. I'm going to ask him, how's the family and what's the future of Conroe. Instead, I'll say, why do you take up all the parking during city council?" No, I wouldn't do that to him at all. Now he probably won't even come on. But anyway, you have Remnant Stew. And Remnant Stew, I got to know where you got that name from.
Well, okay, that's really interesting. I worked at the Renaissance Festival
Yes.
decades ago. And there was a band, a local band, locally to Houston, called the Flying Fish Sailors. And they sang sea shanties and everything. And they really kind of had a following. And they still, even though the guys have grown up, have done their professional careers separately and everything, they still would get together and do all of this. And the lead singer, the front man, is Greg Henkel. Well, he wrote absolutely brilliant, quirky, weird guy, just as kind as you could be. He wrote a song called Remnant Stew years ago, and I used to follow them. I used to go and listen to them and everything. But he wrote an original song called Remnant Stew, and so when I was looking for a name for a podcast, it was perfect because it's bits and pieces of trivia and everything.
Right.
And I asked him if I could use that name, and he gave me his blessing. Well, Greg just recently passed away. He just passed away last week or maybe the week before. And so it's a little fitting that you asked me about that.
Oh, I'm so glad.
He was such a sweet soul.
So a lot of people from Conroe would know.
I think so. I think it depends on how weird you are, because they
a lot of weird
definitely
people.
they definitely sang a lot of weird. I mean, you can only sing so many traditional sea shanties,
Right.
There's only so many out there, and then they would start making up their own songs and everything. And like I said, he's absolutely brilliant. One of my favorite songs that he sings is "Ode to the Lima Bean," and it's about how horribly nasty lima beans are.
I so relate. Yeah.
So look it up on YouTube. Go
Okay.
out there and look up some of their songs. They were very funny, but very traditional as far as the sea shanties and things like that, but very funny and very talented guys.
We're talking about weird people. I got a weird text from someone who just read what we were going to be talking about today, about the ghost tour today.
Okay.
And I can't say the name of the person. They know who they are. And Richard, you're going to know really quick who this person is. But he said that his wife was a medium, and she talked to dead people every day. And so I texted him back, said, "Were you one of those people?" Because
That's so not nice.
It isn't. But he's probably throwing things at the right now. But No, anyway, and he's probably screaming, say my name, I don't care. It's Dennis O'Connor. Did you guess? Richard knew. He knew. It was Dennis. Dennis would have been the one sitting up in front of this guy's concert to listen to him.
Yes, the Flame for Sailors.
So
yeah.
he was so interested in listening to this show today. He said, so I just wanted to let you know that. So I'm kind of in tune to this whole thing.
Yeah, so along with podcast, we have this ghost tour that is launching. It doesn't exist yet, but it's launching in, the first tour is going to be September 30th.
September 30th.
So just in time for the spooky season.
Oh, it's so awesome. And I know you're not playing off of that or taking advantage of that at all. But the official name is
Lamplight
Ghost Tour.
And I did it that way because I think that Montgomery, I was really ambitious when I first started pulling the tour together and where we're going to walk and what we're going to talk about. But then it would last like 4 hours and you'd have to walk like, 5 miles. And so I'm thinking, Montgomery is big enough for like 2 or maybe even 3 ghost tours. You got Fernland. We're not even touching Fernland over there with a lot of the historic buildings. And we're going to stay on this first tour. We're going to stay in downtown. But, I could open a tour in Willis or, in other places. And so
yes.
that's what I'm hoping to do is to open some other spooky
Yes.
tours in other places.
And downtown Conroe has got the alleyways.
Oh, it's got so much. But I think there's a ghost tour that does operate in Conroe.
Yes, I got a text from that person, and they said that he may be coming back. His name was Taylor.
Okay.
And so they said he may be coming back to do another one, and that's just amazing because I had Rodney and. I keep thinking Dangerfield. His last name is not Dangerfield. It's Rodney. What's Rodney's last name? Poole. Yeah, Rodney Poole. How can you forget? Poole. Rodney Poole owns a lot of real estate around here.
Okay.
And so he came on the show one time, and I asked him about the Bonnie and Clyde rumor that went around. Did Bonnie and Clyde really come through here? And he said, yeah, it was his brother or something. He had a relationship.
Clyde had family
here. And so he said, and they stayed in, and he just pointed at this building that was like across the street from our old studio. And I went, he stayed there. They stayed there, and he said, yeah. And people that live there say they hear them in the hallways. They know they're there. And so it's true. And he just does it so matter-of-factly. Yeah.
I had dinner with 2 brothers, the Duncan brothers, some older residents of Montgomery, and to gather their stories and everything. And one of them said that their dad was hunting over there where the old historic bridge is. Okay, right. Off of 2854. He was hunting around in that area, and he came around a corner, and he saw I was going to say an old-fashioned car, but not old-fashioned at that time, but a really nice car, and a couple out there kind of in a clearing, and he thought, well, they must need help. So he approached them to see if they needed help, and the guy says, keep walking. And so
that sends chills.
Yes, he thinks he's convinced it was Bonnie and Clyde, and it was during I don't know if it was like during their spree, but they were definitely known. So I guess it was during the spree, and they were out here in Conroe.
Wow,
hidden in the woods. So
that's so cool. I mean, that's really cool. And then to know that people still feel like they're still there, and he said, I don't know what I believe about that. I don't know, I don't know, but that's what people say. And, it's like, he's going to believe it if they say it. Now, and that's probably the biggest question you get from everybody is, do you believe in ghosts?
Okay. Well, I've never had a ghost encounter, and I like it just fine that way. I say that we laugh and say that our house is haunted, and I'm not so sure that that I don't not believe that, but I've never come face to face. I do believe that there's a whole lot more out there than what we know, and I think it's egotistical to think that we know everything.
Oh no,
you know,
you're
and we know
exactly
everything,
right.
and that there's nothing out there.
Yeah.
I do believe in the power of suggestion, but I firmly believe in all of these stories and all of this culture and all. I mean, the history is just rich, and it's not just history; it's the people's stories. I mean, you really get a feel for the people that live there and have lived there and their connections to the past. And yeah, I do believe.
Well,
I do believe.
you know, it's just, I guess I've only ever used them to my advantage, you know, and I'd go in the
Like
in
used
the room
what,
and I'd
ghosts
say,
to your advantage?
Yeah, and I'd say, you know, this was all cleaned up before I went to bed. Look at this place. Look how I know we've got a ghost in this house. No, and nobody believes me. They actually decide that the history of you, Mom, is that you probably just thought so let's just say it like it is. You're just messy. So, but ghosts that come in and mess up, you know, I didn't know if people were just blaming it on them and they didn't want to say it was really them, but they blame a lot of things on ghosts and say that it is haunted and
that's called kids.
Oh.
If it's messy.
Yeah.
But no, there's a lot of old buildings in Montgomery
Right.
that date back to the 1800s, and a lot of things happened in those buildings, and some of the stories aren't just one person telling that story. It's several people experiencing different things. Like the Oaks is a large house that was built by Nathaniel Hart Davis, which was a lawyer in town. He built this little house, and then he built a law office right next to it. And then when he moved, he made a lot of money, and he moved and built a big house, right? And it's the Oaks now. It's an antique store. There's a lot of things that happen in there, and we do know that there was a suicide in there.
Oh.
But they've actually had paranormal investigators out.
Because
There's a little girl that they've seen, lights that come on and stay on, and all kinds of things. And there's so many buildings like that.
Well, you know, there's hundreds of stories of people that a really close loved one dies. My brother was killed in a car wreck, and we were extremely close. And I remember one night, and I was in the living room, and I was laying on the couch, and I looked up, and then I sat up, and he came around the corner because it was just weird. Why am I just staring at this place? But he comes around the corner and says, "I'm okay," and then he was gone. Now
Now I fully believe in that kind of thing.
I know that we all want that, and we pray for that. It's like, please let me know that he's okay. And I believe that's like an answer to a prayer.
Absolutely.
And something, and your dreams that you have of your parents or your grandparents, and they're so real, and you have this great day with them and all that it's just, you know, I wake up and say, thank you, God, because that made me feel so much better.
Now, we could go for hours talking about dreams, okay?
Oh, definitely.
I've received forgiveness in a dream from someone that had passed on, and I don't want to get into all of that, but if anyone is wondering about the ghost tour, you can fully believe, you can not believe. It doesn't matter. It is still fun.
Sure.
Nobody's going to be jumping out. It's not a haunted house. Okay?
No. That's
no
good.
One, no one's going to jump out at you or jump out from behind the bushes. It is chock full of history, but in a fun and kind of spooky way.
That's, you know, it's just why we all like to be scared. I loved it.
Love it.
Growing up, that's, you know, but I would go outside in the lobby of the movie, and I would open the crack of the door and try and watch Psycho. And I remember them going like, oh, yeah. And how they was, you know, my parents loved scary movies too. My mom would dress up as the witch and scare the kids that came up.
That's awesome.
So that time of year, it's funny and how we take it, and when bad things that have happened during my lifetime at Halloween, they were going to do away with Halloween altogether. And we're not going to do Halloween anymore. We're not going to have that anymore because it's too dangerous. Or it's not, you know, it's got to be bad memories and stuff. It was strange. I remember going through that. But the ghost thing has been so much fun. And imagine Hollywood without ghosts.
Well, here's a Remnant Stew fun fact for you.
Oh, good. Okay.
In Psycho, do you know that? Okay, so it was filmed in black and white.
Right.
So showing blood was a little difficult. You know what they used? Chocolate syrup.
Syrup. Yeah. I
used
heard
chocolate
that was
syrup.
Syrup was what they had to use because of the way it would run. And
That's
and
right. It had just the right thickness,
yes, and
viscosity.
texture.
Right.
Oh, boy. That would have been difficult. That makes chocolate syrup.
And what is that actress's name?
Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh. Okay, that's what I thought. You know, she had a problem taking showers
After
for the
that-
rest of her life.
For the rest of all of our lives, we all had that. We all had that shower problem because you just felt like that door's going to open and that shadow's going to be there, and it's just like that was horrific. That's like the Jaws.
And I'll tell you this too. Okay, so Ed Gein. Have you ever heard of Ed Gein?
No.
Okay, okay. When it comes to Remnant Stew, my co-host Steve is a historian. He brings the history and the geography and all of that, and I kind of bring the spook a little bit and the dark stuff. But Ed Gein is known as a serial killer, although I don't really consider him a serial killer. He didn't really have a compulsion to kill. He was a very artsy, crafty guy. He made a lot of things out of bodies, like he would dig up bodies from the cemetery, and no less than 3 villains are modeled after him. One was Norman Bates.
Oh,
One
yes.
was the guy Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right.
And who is the third one that I just lost it. But 3 villains.
Was it the
So-
the mask?
Well,
guy?
that's Leatherface.
That's
Leatherface
Leatherface.
from. I know Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah,
Because he was
oh,
making
yes.
a person suit, and
That's
Ed Gein
right.
made a person suit.
Oh, my word! And that's
So-
why he was looking for overweight girls, so he had
Yeah,
enough
that's
skin.
right. That's right. Now I don't know about Ed Gein. Didn't do that. He waited for the women in his town to pass away, and then he would just go dig them up.
Go dig them up.
Go dig them up. He had cereal bowls made from skulls. And okay, you know.
Okay.
My
Oh,
co-hosts.
I was going to say we digress, but we don't.
Well, we digress on Remnant Stew. Remnant Stew is not that spooky or that dark.
No.
Steve kind of keeps me out of that side of
world.
it. But yeah.
But that's so interesting, and I know that anytime that they did any kind of shows, like when they did the ones where the little girl died, that was in the horror shows that were. I love starting these stories, and I cannot.
And you can't. That's called getting old.
Anyway, they had getting old.
Well, I understand it.
I did that at 20, so no. When she died, and then there was another death.
Are you
They
talking
were-
about the poltergeist?
The
girl?
poltergeist.
Carol?
Poltergeist.
Well, I think her
yeah.
name was Carol in the Carol Ann in
Yeah.
the movie. I can't think
Right.
of what the
But
actress name.
it was they had so many problems in that, and they know that they
That's right.
disturbed some.
And they used real skeletons.
They
Real
did.
skeletons in that pool scene. They were cheaper than getting replicas.
Oh, gross! So gross.
So we're just going to talk about
Yeah,
Hollywood.
no,
on
it's
these.
not Hollywood. But Hollywood has a lot of influence on us about ghosts and why we're scared of them and all
That's true.
that.
That's
So
true. We really do.
they've taken us to that way. But so all ghosts may not be bad, and they may not be that violent and all that, but they haven't got a good rep. You know, they just
Well, they really don't.
And
And
so-
I think maybe some of it might be deserved. Well deserved.
Yes.
I don't know.
But you've got stories that when everybody's walking behind you, and y'all are walking down the street, and then do you stop in front of a store or a place, or do you go inside the place and walk? into the place?
No, we are not going to be able to go. And that's on one of the frequently asked questions on my website,
Oh, okay.
which is lamplightghosttours.com. We will not be able to go into any of the buildings because we'll be doing this in the evening. The tours will start at 6:30 at Phil's Roadhouse for complimentary beverages and appetizers, and all of this is fluid. Like, I'm still putting it together, but that's the plan. And then tours start promptly at 7 p.m. And so, there's no businesses open and all of that kind of thing. However, some of the historic houses that you might hear about on the tour, they do open those at the Candlelight Christmas tour. which is fascinating. You get to go inside these houses and I'm not sure, like they wait until right around Christmas to determine whether these, to make the final list of what houses are open and what houses are not, because it depends on the residents. But when you get to go on that candlelight tour, it is awesome. It is such a cool experience. You really get to go inside some of these historic buildings that, like, maybe Sam Houston stayed in, Nathaniel Hart Davis built, that sort of thing.
See that, and that's the information you're going to be giving them as you do the tour.
Oh yes,
all that.
Yes,
all that.
You're
That
going to
is
get
so
a huge
cool.
history lesson, because there's a lot of really interesting stories.
Now, so if you get 40 people that are taking the tour, how many? What's like the largest? Oh,
I think we might cap it at 20.
Oh, cap it at 20. Okay.
Cap it at 20.
So you don't be going. So up here in the
Oh, I
rafters,
could-
they
I can direct. I mean, I can
project.
project big time. I raised 3 boys. Come on.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
can
true.
yell.
Amen, brother. But I think that it's just going to be so amazing to make that walk. Now, getting people. Now, if someone has difficulty walking more than 200 yards, I'm not going to say. But, what do you do with those people?
We okay. The walking ghost tour is not for you, because we will be walking for 90 minutes, about 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
However, I'm still pulling this together and planning, hopefully, at least once, maybe 3 or 4 times from now until the end of the year, having a hayride. So doing the same tour, but on a hayride.
Perfect. Oh, I
and
love
I'm
that.
really trying to get it to where we can pull a wheelchair up on it. I have one particular
Yes.
person that wants to take the tour, and she's in a wheelchair, and I'm going to see if I can get that to happen.
Awesome. No,
So,
I love that.
But yes, if
That's
you're
good.
not able to walk that whole time, then I'm hoping some hayride tours will be available.
That's perfect. And you were talking about, now she's doing something. Now we're not going to deviate totally from this. But we want to talk about what you're doing with the 7th grade classes.
Okay, so in Montgomery ISD, okay, and I've had 4 kids go through the school.
The system.
The 7th graders, at least, I don't know if it's the 7th graders at all of the junior highs in Montgomery or just Montgomery Junior High, have this special project that they do. It's a major project in their grade, and I think it's given to them in the fall, and then they have to turn it in the spring. And it's a scavenger hunt. It's a history scavenger hunt around Montgomery. And I've done it 4 times. I'm kind of an expert at it.
Yes.
And it really is what sparked the interest. I was like, we need a ghost tour. We need a ghost tour to kind of do this, give this a spooky spin and a fun spin.
And then but it's intellectual as well, because you're
Right.
learning so much about the history of it.
And I thought, I can understand where the project, it's a little bit of a burden. It's something to, a lot of parents are going, great, thanks, because it does. It takes up time. But I loved it, and I'm really hoping to extend a discount to all of the 7th grade kids
To be able to take this.
Yes, in Montgomery ISD, and to get that project sent to me ahead of time so I'll know, because not the project isn't the exact same every year. And so I want to know what sites are on that project so I can point them out to the kids.
Well, like Willis, are you doing that for Willis? Is it only?
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm sorry. I'm going to do it for the kids if they have a scavenger hunt in Montgomery, I will totally do it for them.
Oh, okay.
How about that?
Okay. No, they won't do that. I'm sure they won't let them out that far. But it's pretty scary in Willis, and so you'll have to work up a tour in Willis.
I would love to do a tour in Willis, but I have no stories at this
Yes.
point, and I've got to get this one off the ground first. But,
Right. No, you got plenty of stories with this area around here. And when people come off of this tour, you think that they've been persuaded one way or the other, like maybe spirits do still reside.
I don't know. I guess it'll depend what we see on the.
But they're going to be
tour.
saying, you know what happened to me one time? I did this, and they're going to start telling you stories like
That's
all
right.
over the place.
I have been on a ton of ghost tours. One of the best ones, and I'm just going to shout out because they've really helped me out too. One of the best ones I've ever been on, in fact, the best one I've ever been on, was in New Braunfels. And so it's New Braunfels ghost tour. And they, the way they presented it is exactly the way I want to present it. And hit them up. I'm like, I know you don't remember me, but, and they really helped me out. And, you know, you got to do this as far as the website and the booking and things like that. They gave me all kinds of pointers. But I've been in New Orleans, in Galveston. I've done 2 in Galveston.
Oh, Galveston. Oh, my word.
Old Town Spring
Galveston.
is a great, I mean, just about any town. That's the best way. Anytime I
Yes.
go to a new town, I try to take a ghost tour because it's a great, first of all, it's entertaining and it's
Right.
exercise.
Right.
Anything to get my rear out of a chair, right? But it's a great crash course in the history, and not just the history of the town, but a feel for the people and their stories and their, you know, their culture, and it's awesome. I love ghost tours.
Well, that's what how I see. I see it as just so great, because the truth of it is that their spirits or whatever happened there, if it was violent or whether it was just, you know, these people, we know about these people through legends and things like that, is that they were there. Their essence was there.
Right.
Whether they leave it or not is, you know,
Well,
we
and
don't know.
and I've heard it, and I don't know how scientific this. Well, I don't know if any of it's
You're right,
scientific,
that's
but I've heard it described that there's different types of hauntings. One is a residual, where something happened, something significant happened, like the battlefield of Gettysburg or whatever. Something very significant and very to the people that were in it was very stressful and very right, and so that energy stays and it's residual, and it just plays out over and over and over again. The same thing. They're not aware that you're there. They're not aware that they can see, you know, you can see them or whatever. And then there's a haunting of where the ghost is aware and they do know and they want to interact to a certain degree. Either they want to scare you or irritate you or scare you off so you'll leave them alone, or they want to interact with you and let you know that they're there. You know, like your brother or whatever, you know, that sort of thing. And so there's different types, and you know,
that's so interesting. I love that, and I would love to imagine all the stories that will be told during that time, and the selfies that are going to be taken. Are you ready for that? Like, wait, we're not ready to go yet. Still getting pictures.
Oh no, we can take our time and we are going to enjoy ourselves.
Now, okay,
that's
starts
what we're going to do.
7:00.
Starts at 7:00
at the 1st of October, around the 1st of October.
Well, okay, so don't say 1st of October,
Okay.
because before I started all of this, I bought concert tickets. so 1st of October is unavailable.
Oh, first,
we're going to start
Leah.
September 30th, and then we're going to run definitely every Friday and Saturday night, October, November, and through mid-December.
Okay.
And then if it's very, and I'm going to offer at first Thursday nights and Sunday nights as well. And we'll see how popular it is and if we need to drop off the Thursday and Friday nights. And private tours are always available too.
Well, no, I was wondering, you're going to be downtown Conroe.
No, Montgomery.
I mean, Montgomery. Downtown Montgomery City? Like the out 105 all the way out 105?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be right.
Nope, this is
wow.
is in Montgomery.
That makes it more scary. That does. I feel like nobody's going to mess with you here, but in Montgomery, you don't know for sure. But so you're going to be at that time at 1:00 at the end of September.
Okay.
All right, 1st of September. No,
September 30th is
September
the first
30th.
public tour.
Okay.
6:30 at Phil's Roadhouse. No, I mean, they book it through our website.
Okay.
You go through our website and you book it.
Okay. Yeah, don't listen to me, because I'm telling you, I'll get messed up on dates. But they book it. They book their group or however many they're going to have go.
That's
and,
right.
And the tickets are what?
They're $25.
$25 each. Is there a cut on seniors or or anything like that?
Email me.
Nice
I'm still
people?
working all of that out. I'm not sure. Okay, so we're still doing the website.
Yeah.
And I want some promo codes to be able to give to people, you know,
Right,
that sort of
right.
thing.
Slash
And
Lone Star
I haven't
Community.
quite figured that I haven't quite figured that out yet. We're going to figure that out. There's going to be a discount for seniors. There's going to be a discount for 7th graders.
Oh, yes.
That sort of thing.
That's good.
So
Because now, do you have any children? Like, you have an age limit, like 12 up? Or
I'm going to let the parents decide.
Okay, because they got to take care of them.
Yeah, they have to take care of them. I'm not responsible if they never sleep again.
Yeah, that's right.
No, it's not going to be that scary.
No.
Honestly, the kids are either going to get it and be okay with it, or it's going to go over there. You know what I'm saying? It's stories, and so
exactly. But if you're a good storyteller,
and if you want to carry a 3-year-old all the way through the thing, then you do that. But
I want to hop in their carriage. But I think that what I was trying to get to is that the time of day that you're doing this, doesn't it get dark? Is it going to be?
I'm
dark?
hoping that that it gets dark kind of in there.
You want
that's
the darkness,
when
yes.
Well, I don't. Yes, I do. Montgomery never gets super. Well, it depends.
Yeah.
It depends on where you are. But it's pretty well lit in the downtown area. Although over there by the Oaks and Addison Gandy House is on the trip, and so is Hodgepodge Lodge and Homewood. That's kind of dark, and we're just gonna,
You're gonna have your flashlights.
Yeah, we're gonna
so
muscle
anyway,
through it.
They came over into your flashlight. It'll be great. That'll be so scary. I love that, Leah. Leah, Leah.
That's right.
Lamp, Lamp.
And Lamp Light Ghost Tours.
Ghost tours, and you don't have to spell out Montgomery County, do you? Do you know Moco?
MONT. I used to go to Montgomery High School, so
I just found out what Moco stands for.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Montgomery County.
No, Moco in Spanish is I can't say that word. It's like.
Can you not say it because it's
no, I just
not on the radio?
I hate to say the word snot.
Snot? Oh,
yes,
snot. It's not.
And BURG. It's
boogers. It's
yes,
boogers. Just say it. It's
can't.
okay.
I just always hate that word. Anyway,
is that what Moco means?
that's what Moco means in
that's
Spanish.
Funny. So we have Moco Food Hall over here.
That's who told us. They said they got into that, and someone came and told them, "Do you know what that means in Spanish?"
That's hilarious.
Right? So they're gonna have T-shirts that say "Moco Food Halls, nothing to sneeze at."
Oh,
and
that's funny.
Isn't that cute? So
honestly, that place is awesome. I don't know if you've been.
Oh yeah,
the speakeasy over there, the vault
Yes.
is amazing, and they have their advertising for me, which I love. My logo and their
great.
logo. The same colors and
yes.
everything.
Oh, man.
And they have my coasters over there. So
have you had them on your show, Remnant Stew?
what Moco Food Hall?
Yeah.
No, we never. Like I said, these 2 episodes that we have out where we interviewed Carrie Cook.
Yeah.
Are really unusual. We don't normally interview people, so
During that
it's
time,
just two.
Well, I
us two
interviewed
guys
him, and I
talking.
didn't get any advertisements. So I just wanted to let you know that. So, okay,
I got a little bit of an
Ashley and
in. My
Seth.
niece works over there and painted some of the murals.
Oh,
and so
that's awesome.
yes, and so
Well, I'm trying to get Samuel a job over there because they said they need bus boys, and he said, well, what does a bus boy do? What does that mean? I said,
clean.
well, you just pick up the dishes and take them to the back, then you wash them, and then he said, wait. You wash the dishes? I said, yes, you wash.
He's like,
the
I'm out,
dishes."
right?
It's like, okay, you had me at pick up the dishes and take them in the back. But he couldn't believe they paid $12 an hour.
Oh wow!
So
There you go.
so we're still trying to make that happen. But HEB just put up their sign.
Yes,
HEB's coming to Willis.
I can't
right
wait.
on the corner where across from Kroger, and Kroger has just stepped up their game really hard the last few weeks.
Don't ask me about Kroger. I don't.
HEB is getting ready to open, and everybody's so
can't wait.
excited, and they're going to probably need a lot of work. Help
And they're
over at
and they're
Kroger.
bringing all kinds of real retail space.
There's so many anchor stores at this place,
Mm-hmm.
and it's all out, away from the store. Usually they're kind of hooked to the store, but they're going to bring so much traffic. That's the only thing I
know.
hate.
I know.
I got to find
I
out
know.
when not to go and when's the window and that kind of thing. But thanks for getting me into that. Now I was going to tell you something about. Anyway,
About snot
Moco. We were
boogers?
talking about Moco. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm sorry. Ooh, I got on my life. That gave me a chill. Okay, so it's $25 each. And
That's right.
And if they can go ahead and order their tickets now.
Yes.
Or we're waiting.
We're still tweaking the website.
Yes.
I think you can order right now with PayPal, but we're working on getting it to where and it may be ready.
Yeah.
Where you can get all of the take all major credit cards, that sort of thing. But if you have any problems, the email, go to the contact page and send me an email. It's lamplightghosttours@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And we can work it out.
And don't let the price scare you.
Well,
Because
but that's complimentary beverages. And when I say beverages, I mean
no, you're going to get
non-alcoholic.
snacks and
But snacks,
food,
things like that. Mm-hmm.
No, and all that knowledge of the place, and it'll never be the same again. Every
That's
time you
right.
pass that place, it's a different, because their bank down there
Uh-huh,
still
the
has
state
the
bank.
it still has the bullet
Like,
impressions.
That's right, in the vault.
Yes, and I went and saw that. I was like,
That's on my tour.
oh, that's awesome.
It's haunted.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be. So I know, and they keep all the money.
I
Right there.
love that Montgomery kept all of those buildings. When I moved to
Yes.
Montgomery in '86, I think it was, I hated it. I was 14 years old. There was nothing going on.
No, nothing going
and
on.
it has really blossomed into a just this really cool town. And of course, all that history was there. I didn't know it because I didn't take Texas history. I moved here after that grade or whatever. And I absolutely couldn't wait to get out of Montgomery, and here I am, still in Montgomery and embracing it. I
and
love
ghosting it. Yeah,
I love Montgomery.
that's awesome. I've got to say, do a shout out real quick to Chris and Connie. They are the ones that you'll talk to if you ever come into City Hall. You must talk to Chris, and he knows just about everything right now. He's still in a little bit of training, but he's an administrative assistant, and Connie is with the Human Resources. So yeah.
so I can see him
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah. Could you
Yes.
wave at them because they're listening to the show, so they can hear their names on the radio.
Yeah, he waved back.
Okay, very good, Chris. Absolutely fabulous. But so anyway, that's just great. If you have anything else you want to talk about, go ahead.
I think that's it. A
You got it?
podcast, ghost tour. Just check it out. RemnantStew.com.
.com. Yes.
And Lamplight Ghost Tours.
And they can hear
.com.
Remnant Stew.
They can hear Remnant Stew. A podcast. You can listen to podcast on Lone Star
Yes.
on Wednesdays at 1:00. You can listen to it online at remnantstew.com. But any like iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name
Wow.
it, or any podcast platform.
You got it. That's
it.
That's awesome.
And
I'm
we have
so proud of you.
We have well over 50 episodes out there full of weird and wonderful stories.
That's over 15 episodes.
No, over 50.
50 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So you could just spend weeks listening to you guys. That's
right.
great.
Just go
on a
just
long
go put
drive.
up a hammock somewhere and chill out.
No, that's what's so exciting because it was just so much fun to listen to. It was so different, and y'all are talking about weird things and those things you can take with you to the water cooler or to
That's right.
breakfast at home. But I love that. Thank you so much for
Well, thank
being
you.
here.
Thank you for
This
having
was so
me.
much fun talking to you.
We
and
always
I hope
have
you
fun.
enjoyed it, Dennis. That's great. You come talking to dead people. That'd be awesome. But I think that it's interesting because we all have that fear, and you're like playing into that. That's fine. I love that. And taking advantage and making people even more scared than they were before. But I think this is good because it's an intellectual fear. You go in there and you know now what to expect, what people have said, what their stories are. And then it's like the politicians. Then you got to figure out, should I believe them or not?
That's right.
It's coming out of whose mouth?
The way I'm going to tell it is that all of the stories are 100% historically accurate, and the ghost stories, you just have to make it up for yourself.
I love that. That's great.
And I
That's
will say
great.
that I did not make up any of these stories. I gathered them. They're other people's stories, and the people that work there and live there and have
And
experienced
you certainly
it.
didn't embellish them because I know you don't even know what that word means, but you've never used that word in your life. But you're not embellishing any of that stuff. It's just straight. That's what's going on.
That's right.
So I just appreciate you so much. We're going to go to a break. Do we have time for a break? Oh, wow. We didn't. I thought, am I even going to have time for one break? But we'll do one break, and then we'll be right back. So don't go away. I got to tell you what's happening tomorrow. Talk about scary.
Want to check check out the fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a non-profit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Mike from Dance Time in Texas. Join me Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. as I count down the top 10 Texas Red Dirt songs that are packing the dance floor. I'll be featuring local artists and the story behind the hits, shows in the area, as well as new songs that make you want to dance. It's Dance Time in Texas with DJ Mike on Lone Star Community Radio, 104.5 KCZW and 106.1 KZCC, Conroe, Texas, or online, irlonestar.com.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Have a legal question? Are you a resident of Montgomery County? Call 281-645-6344 to talk to a volunteer attorney from the Woodlands Bar Association. We answer the phones on the first Monday of every month at 281-645-6344 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. to provide general legal information and information about legal resources to Montgomery County residents.
Hey, tune into the Bridge Podcast TX Tuesdays at 11 a.m., where we are connecting commerce with community, interviewing business owners and leaders in the community, allowing the audience to peek behind the curtain of what inspires, motivates, drives these individuals to have meaningful, positive impact in this community. For more information about the show, log into irlonestar.com/TBPTX.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. We've been talking to Leah Lamp and her Leah Lamp Ghost Tours of Montgomery. Lamplight
Ghost Tours.
Lamplight Ghost Tours. See, don't ever give me anything unless it's like this. Lamplight Ghost Tours, Haunted Walking Tour, Montgomery, Texas. That's what right. I need. That's my notes, because I'll sit there and be looking at the person. I go like, I've got to introduce them. I can't remember their name.
Oh, listen, I do that all the time. Oh, what's your name?
Yeah.
Okay, now what did they say?
And all those little clues they give you to remember their name, say it a bunch of times and all that. And so, Leah Lamp Ghost Tours. Okay, all right. Anyway, if you guys have got to go do this, and you have to come back and do an update. Like, I want to know what all happened after the first, like your first tour.
Yeah, let's hope it goes well. Knock on wood.
Oh, I'm sure it will.
It goes well.
I'm sure it will. The ghosts are getting ready for you, and
that's right.
We will.
I don't know if anybody's told them.
Well, probably shouldn't.
You probably shouldn't. Probably
just
not.
Don't tell them. Surprise them, scare them. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, but Aaliyah is so great and has so many different things going on. So please listen to Remnant Stew, and you've got that on YouTube as well, or Lone Star?
No, it's not on YouTube. It's not on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
I tried putting it on YouTube,
else.
but it's like an hour long. Our episodes are an hour long, and so I'm not sure anybody wants to listen to it or watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, well,
but you can listen to it and put it on the background when you're cooking dinner, commuting, getting ready for work, burying a body.
Because our ADD is so bad here in this country.
That's right.
So whenever you have things that are just like little snippets, and then another new snippet, so you're not listening to the same thing, then you'll have stuff to share with family and friends. It's great. I love that fact. But tomorrow, listen to this. Tomorrow we have Carl Etchison. Etchison, it's just like the Etch-a-Sketch, but it's Etchison. Carl Etchison, and he has a website. His website is Send Carl to Prison. And the reason it says that is because he does prison ministries there in Huntsville. And he also does, the classes and helping these guys get back to wherever they're getting ready to be out in the society of how to act and what to do, and just give them the hope that they can get their lives back together again, and they're going to have the strongest support system in the world is God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. They'll be fine. So he's got them coming to church, and they've had 962 baptisms. That's a lot.
No, wait a minute. In one
been,
Sunday,
no,
or how long?
No,
how
this
long?
has been since 2017.
Okay.
I think
That's still very impressive.
Yes, and it just grew. As you can tell, when at 16, then they had this many, and 2017 they had this many. It just it was amazing. So he's a very colorful guy, and
you have to be.
It'll be
You'd
so
have to
fun.
be to come to the prison.
Yeah, because he was a preacher for a long time, and I worked for him for a long time, and we would have quite this discussion. So, like, let me do this video. It's going to be so great. And he would get to do videos so he could do certain things. I found out he wanted to ride dirt bikes, and so. And I didn't know how he was going to work that into the sermon, but he always seemed to work something into the sermon. And then he had a ghillie suit on one time when it was really something. You should have seen some of the videos we did. But anyway, he's going to be here tomorrow, and I hope that you guys will tune in for that at 2:00. And so prisons are pretty scary, and I'm sure they probably have many stories of spirits of people that, because imagine some of the acts that the people in Huntsville, once what they did, and then how many people have seen the last light in Huntsville. And so there's lots of going on around there.
Ask him about that. I am quite certain.
Okay, I'll ask him. That'll be
maybe ask him before to see if he wants to talk about it.
No, I'm going to wait and say, okay, so how many spirits have you seen or ghosts have you seen? But anyway, so it's going to be fun. And you guys do not miss Thursday, because Thursday I have no idea who's going to be on Thursday. I've got so many ideas and so many people that I'm asking, come on, you can do this, you can be on. I won't embarrass you too much. In fact, I'm put this out. Chris is a manager at the Grand, and so he and Connor had a show called Ticket Stub. I kept thinking they said it was Ticket Stud, but it's Ticket Stub. And they had their show, and they were, loved the show, and Richard was part of that. And so I was going to try and get him to come in on Thursday so that we can talk about movies coming up and all that, because Thursday they start. Thursday nights, all the new movies start on Thursday night.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. See, I'm so glad you listened to the show. And so this is what is great, is because you can get in there before everybody else,
right.
Because the kids, they got to go to school, they got to go to sleep, so you can go on in there and go see the new shows that are going to start that Friday. And I just hope that you guys just, if y'all think about somebody that you really want to be on, let me know. If you know someone that wants to sponsor this show, I know we've made Remnant be so exciting that y'all want to sponsor that, but you want to sponsor the Cindy Cochran Show. I'm on 3 days a week, and so that means you get 3 times the amount of coverage and publicity. Isn't that right, Richard? Just shake your head. That's right. Okay. So anyway, if you want to sponsor, you want to just donate. We even have a donate thing. You can donate.
Oh, wow.
And I know Dennis Connor's looking to see how what kind of change he has. You can donate that, Dennis, that $2. It's so fine. But anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know that we're here for you, and you want to keep the lights on, sponsor the show. We'll have to have some kind of do the campaign and have people begging for the money. Okay, so now he's giving me this, and so I'm going to give this. Hey, listen, the Cindy Cochran Show, we're here 2 to 3 Wednesday and Thursday of this week, and Tuesday. But also, we want to say to all you first responders, we love you. We love you so much, and God loves you even more. That just took my... That was it. Bye.